I swear something sinister happens at our apartment complex pool every September 15th because the silence that follows its abrupt annual closing is far more terrifying than any loud party could ever be. Last year, peeking through my blinds just past midnight on that notorious date, I distinctly saw faint glowing lights moving beneath the tarps, like submerged eyes watching from the darkened water below. Management gives no real reason for this strict annual closure beyond routine maintenance, yet the entire area remains disturbingly locked down, surrounded by eerie new security cameras every single year. Neighbors who have lived here for decades just shrug, their faces betraying a deep, unspoken dread when questioned about the pool's peculiar ritual, warning newcomers to never investigate the precise closing date. One night, I heard faint chanting whispers emanating from the fenced-off pool area, a low, guttural murmur that sent an icy shiver down my spine, echoing through the desolate complex hallways eerily. The next morning, a small, intricate, wet wooden doll resembling a drowned child was found inexplicably placed on my doorstep, its hollow eyes staring straight at my bewildered and terrified reflection. I quickly alerted building security about the doll and my disturbing nocturnal observations, but they simply offered me a vacant, unsettling smile before dismissing my genuine fears completely. Now I'm convinced the pool isn't just closed, it's actively holding some dark, unspeakable secret that everyone else here implicitly understands and silently accepts as an unavoidable and horrifying pact. I always thought the annual September 15th pool closure was just an overzealous HOA rule, until last year when curiosity compelled me to climb the fence and investigate during the dead of night. Beneath the heavy, flapping tarp, the water wasn't just murky, it glowed with an eerie, bioluminescent green, reflecting strange, angular symbols painted on the pool's bottom, pulsating with unnatural light. A chilling, metallic scent hung heavy in the damp air, not chlorine, but something ancient and acrid, making my stomach churn with an unbearable, primal fear I'd never experienced before. Then I noticed the small, carefully arranged pile of personal belongings at the deep end. A child's shoe, a faded photo, and a tarnished silver locket, all inexplicably placed there. A low, guttural humming sound started echoing from deep within the pool, vibrating through the concrete, and it felt like the entire structure was alive, breathing with some unseen, immense entity. My flashlight beam caught movement near the shallow steps. Shadowy, cloaked figures were emerging from behind the cabanas, silently encircling the glowing water, their faces hidden in the profound darkness. Panic seized me, sending me scrambling over the fence in a desperate, breathless escape, profoundly convinced I'd stumbled upon a forbidden ritual that the apartment complex actively facilitates annually. Now, every September 15th, I stay absolutely locked inside my apartment, windows taped shut, praying that whatever dark entity they appease in that pool never decides to venture beyond its watery confines. The pool always closes on September 15th, precisely when my neighbor, old Mr. Henderson, disappeared 30 years ago, leaving only his swim trunks draped chillingly over his forgotten poolside chair. For decades, I've watched new residents arrive, oblivious to the dread that settles over our complex as that specific autumn date approaches, a palpable tension thickening with each passing year. Management always cites structural integrity for the closure, yet I've seen them pour a strange viscous crimson liquid into the drains late at night, a substance that leaves indelible dark stains. One year, a new tenant dared to complain loudly about the annual inconvenience, only to vanish mysteriously himself the night of September 14th, his apartment door left eerily wide open. The air around the covered pool feels unnaturally cold, even on warm days preceding the closure, and I often hear faint, desperate splashing sounds emanating from beneath the sealed tarp after dark. My dog, usually playful, whimpers incessantly, pulling frantically away whenever we near the pool fence during those specific days, barking wildly at seemingly empty shadows surrounding the forbidden area. I keep a meticulously detailed journal of everything peculiar that happens around that pool, because I know deep down this isn't just a coincidence, it's a pattern of chilling disappearances. I suspect some dark pact or entity within the water demands its annual tribute, and we, the residents, are simply living on borrowed time, unknowingly offering up our unsuspecting neighbors as silent sacrifices. Moving into this apartment, I laughed off the bizarre September 15th pool closure rumors, dismissing them as small-town superstition, never imagining the chilling reality waiting for my skepticism. My first year, planning to defy the arbitrary rule, I decided to sneak a late-night swim just hours before the infamous closing, thinking I was clever and rebellious, a true rule breaker. As I floated on my back, gazing at the starless sky, the water suddenly turned icy cold around me, and I felt something long and slender brush deliberately against my bare leg from beneath. Panicked, I scrambled out, my heart pounding, convinced it was just a loose pool noodle, until I saw a child's inflatable arm float bobbing eerily in the deepest end, slowly sinking out of sight. The strangest part was, I specifically remembered cleaning out all stray toys from the pool deck that very afternoon, so that float's presence was undeniably impossible and utterly terrifying. The next morning, on September 15th, the same arm float was inexplicably tied with a dark, wet cord to my apartment doorknob, dripping slimy pool water onto my welcome mat, a silent, chilling threat. I immediately packed a go bag and have been living in constant fear since, realizing that whatever entity inhabits that water knows exactly who I am and where I live, tracking my every move. Now I just pray my lease expires before next September 15th, because I feel like the pool is silently calling my name, waiting to collect its next defiant, foolish tribute in the dark depths. Working maintenance at this apartment complex, I've seen some weird things, but nothing compares to the annual September 15th pool closure, an event shrouded in a fear that even upper management shares. Each year, a specialized, grim-faced crew, never the regular staff, arrives precisely at midnight, wearing full hazmat suits to drain and cleanse the pool in a highly secretive and disturbing ritual. I once overheard them whispering about the feeding time and keeping it contained, as they meticulously scattered a strange grainy gray powder into the empty pool before refilling it completely. The new water always looks unnaturally clear and still afterward, yet it carries a faint, sickly sweet scent, like formaldehyde mixed with blooming decay, an odor that lingers for days. My colleague, who once tried to peek under the tarp too closely, was summarily fired without explanation, and later found catatonic, muttering about whispers from the deep in a local institution. The complex director, usually jovial, becomes utterly pale and uncommunicative on September 15th, locking himself in his office, emerging only after the specialized crew has mysteriously departed at dawn. I'm convinced the pool isn't closed for maintenance. It's sealed to trap something terrifying beneath, a creature that requires annual appeasement, and the maintenance crew are merely its reluctant caretakers. I've started updating my resume because I fear one day they'll need an extra set of hands during feeding time, and I absolutely refuse to become another silent participant in this horrifying annual sacrifice. As a child in this apartment complex, September 15th always meant one thing: the pool closing. But my vivid nightmares about the whispering walls surrounding it truly started on that infamous date. Every year, just hours before the giant tarp covered the water, I'd see shadowy figures peering out from the pump house windows, their eyes gleaming, watching us kids like silent, hungry predators. My best friend, Timmy, dared to sneak a final dip one September 14th evening, but came back pale and shivering, insisting he heard faint, desperate cries for help coming from deep within the water. He swore he saw translucent hands reaching up from the murky depths, attempting to grasp his ankles, pulling him downwards, their skeletal fingers brushing his skin with unnatural, icy coldness. The next morning, Timmy was gone. His family moved out suddenly, leaving everything behind, and the only explanation given was a brief, confusing note about unforeseen family circumstances for their immediate departure. I still remember the unsettling silence that enveloped the apartment complex after his disappearance, broken only by the ominous flapping of the pool tarp, sounding like a monstrous beast sighing contentedly. Now, as an adult still living here, I meticulously avoid the pool area, especially as September 15th approaches, because those whispering walls still echo Timmy's terrified screams in my memory. The pool isn't just closed, it's a living, breathing tomb that annually claims its due, and I'm terrified one day those phantom hands will finally reach beyond its confines and drag me into its cold, silent abyss.